Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me in BizBash. Though the title of today's session is What Music Says About Your Event, a more fitting title might be Getting the Music Right. And that's because it doesn't matter if you're programming music or planning an event for a VIP party at Coachella or a reception at a pharmaceutical conference, you've got to get the music right for your sponsors, for your brands, for your clients, or they could be very unhappy and you could get the boot. So at BMF Media, my company, what's key to us is getting the right brands, the right artists for the right audience. That's the key to our success, and we believe it's the key to success of any event out there. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and BMF Media. As a 14-year-old growing up in St. Louis, I had a subscription to Billboard magazine that I read every week, and I knew that I wanted to be in the music industry. So I decided to do something about it. What did I do? I wrote letters to every single music executive out there asking for their advice of how to get into the industry. Luckily, the legendary Clive Davis wrote me back, and he said if I got to New York City, I could intern at Arista Records. So I transferred to NYU, went to New York City, and honestly, if it wasn't for writing all those letters and racking up huge long-distance phone bills, I might not be on the path, and his reply, I might not be on the path that I'm on today. After I graduated, I spent 4 years at Imagine Music, which was an internet record label, and we had a lot of digital album releases. And I got to know a lot about what to do and what not to do when it comes to brands and music and events. Fast forward to 2003. My business partner, Bruce, and I decided to form BMF Media with the mission of bringing together brands and artists together. Another crucial part of our business is our talent. We work with a lot of emerging and established artists. Big artists like Lady Gaga, Kanye West, Snoop Dogg. Even today we just booked John Legend for a big event for H&M. But honestly, what I'm most proud of is our work with emerging talent and identifying emerging talent and giving them a platform to showcase that talent through our events and with our clients. I'll never forget when my friend at Interscope Records sent us a CD by an unknown artist, and there was a sticker on it with a quote from W Magazine. And I'm like, that's not an easy thing to get as an emerging artist. So we put it on, we checked it out, we fell in love, and it was Lady Gaga. So really, when you look at it, putting together brands, music, and artists is essential and key to what we do as a company and what we believe is key to success at any event. Let's get back to what music says about your event. The most important thing for you as an event planner is to know your audience. You want to know their age range, their demographics, their socioeconomicals. All these factors come into play when you're picking the right artist, because the music that you pick will literally affect the entire vibe of your event. So you want to ask yourself some questions regards to the audience. How do you want them to feel? Do you want them to dance? Do you want them to feel nostalgic? Do you want them taking selfies? Do you want it to be groovy and cool and super trendy? Do you want them to discover their new favorite artist at your event? In short, you want to seduce the audience with the music that you choose. And your goal should be to get them leaving your event saying, this event rocked. Music is the best way to do that. When it's used correctly, as we know, music is a very emotional thing. So you really have a huge opportunity to form a major connection between your audience and your brand client by picking the right music. After you consider your audience, you want to make sure that you know your brand client. Who is the brand? What's their DNA? Are they into making trends, following trends? Are they conservative brand? Are they edgy? The music you pick could literally form a very important relationship between the brand and that musician, and they could end up becoming like a natural brand ambassador for your client. Remember that every aspect of your event, from the food to the decor to the flowers and especially the music, is a direct reflection on your client to that audience. So you've got to be careful. These days especially, it's definitely not just about the 300 people that are at your event. As we all know via social media, announcements made beforehand, on-site during, and certainly afterwards, the music you pick is going to be heard really around the world, potentially. I have an example for you. Lane Bryant is one of our clients, and they recently came to us. They were launching their I'm No Angel campaign, which you may have seen around. And it's a new bra product that they're launching. And they tasked us with coming up with an event stunt with a music component that would generate buzz. So we came up with the idea to wrap a double-decker bus, put it in the middle of New York City in Madison Park, have a flash mob, all the angels around, and book an act to perform a surprise set. Who did we pick? We picked none other than the legendary Salt and Peppa to perform their song Push It. It was a huge success. Everyone loved it, everyone was taking pictures, everyone at the event loved it, but more importantly, there were 10 billion impressions that were created. Literally, that is a real number, made up of print, TV, online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, heard around the world from this one event and the music selection that we picked. So to sum it up, picking the right music is about extending the brand experience digitally through creative content and really essentially enhancing your client's investment on a global scale. That's how important picking the right music is. So now, we've talked about the audience and we've talked about the brand. Now let's talk about the music and why it's so important to get it right. It seems basic. You wouldn't book Motley Crue for a dance conference convention, and you wouldn't book the legendary band Chic for a heavy metal event. But you shouldn't at least. But honestly, it's way more than that. You want to make sure you're considering your audience, your brand, and the music, and get the right fit. Now, just because a DJ knows how to rock the house and skillful doesn't mean that they're the right pick for your event. And what I mean by that is image. Style and image is key these days. When we got that CD by Lady Gaga, we decided to give her a shot. And we booked her to perform our music lounge at Winter Music Conference, rooftop of the Raleigh penthouse. She showed up in a sequined silver glitter leotard, huge disco ball, 2 backup dancers, and it was perfect. Now, if we had given her a shot at a Tiffany's anniversary gala with that look, that would have been a disaster. So you really want to consider image just as much as sound. In today's world, as we know, DJs are the star of the party. They're no longer hidden behind the soundboard. They're up front and center. So at BMF Media, in our DJ management division, style and image is a really important factor of who we decide to represent. Taking it to a whole nother level is DJ Mia Moretti. Hopefully you're familiar with her. She is not only known for her vast knowledge of music genres and ability to make a party amazing, but she's really also known for what she's wearing, walking red carpets, and her image. And she's become a beauty, fashion, and lifestyle influencer. Her following is huge, and this style component of her mix has allowed her to form really strong brand alliances, and one in particular is with MAC Cosmetics, who just gave her her own makeup line inspired by music festivals, which actually launched yesterday in Mexico City. So style is really key. Another important piece of music, and especially booking DJs, is not to get caught in the bold-faced name trap. Tons of artists out there these days are also DJing on the side, and brands are booking them because it gets the name on the bill. You've got to be careful with that. I recently went to a party at Coachella for a major fashion brand, and we were so excited because this big artist was part of the event. When we got there, we found out it was just a DJ set, and on top of that, they're not very good DJs, so the vibe was like dead. You've got to be really careful to not get in that trap because audiences are not forgiving. Another important thing to keep in mind is tech. You want to have good sound quality. I recently went to a very, very trendy fashion event in LA at the Mocha, super fashion, prestigious venue. I walked in, the music was weirdly instrumental, kind of like a scene from Eyes Wide Shut, and it was all coming from the corner where the DJ booth was with 2 propped up JBL speakers. So the sound quality was so bad, in addition to the music being weird. So you've just got to be so careful to consider speaker placement, because if you can't hear it, then what's the point? Let's switch gears for a second and talk about music festivals and how they bring all the brand and experiences to life. The landscape of brands at music festivals has literally exploded. 10 years ago, my business partner Bruce and I noticed that there were no gifting lounges catering to musicians, like there were to actors at the Golden Globes, Oscars, etc. So being from the Midwest, we decided to target Lollapalooza, and we went to the Hard Rock Hotel Chicago, right across the street from Grant Park, where Lollapalooza is, and we painted a picture of how the hotel could be the off-site center for influencers, brands, and artists to be fused together. We called this event the Music Lounge. And we literally took over the entire hotel with day and night programming and experiences. We recognized early on that music festivals were an amazing platform and way for brands to reach a target millennial audience. Since that first year, we've taken the Music Lounge on the road to South by, Winter Music Conference in Miami, ACL, and even internationally to the wireless festivals. And since then, and this year we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Music Lounge at Lollapalooza in Chicago. So the number of music festivals has grown literally exponentially, and it's almost become essential for brands to play a role, to have a place there to reach this audience. Not every brand's doing it right, and hopefully they have a company like BMF behind them helping them get it right though. So in closing, just a few key takeaways when working with music brands and artists. Know your brand. What is their DNA? What's their budget range? Like, who have they already worked with? What is the brand all about? Number 2, know your audience. Research them. What do they like? Like, what makes them tick? What's going to get them excited? Number 3, know your artist. Do they have a potential existing brand that it would be a conflicting deal? You know, are they going to support the event via social media and get their fans engaged? Or is this just really like a take the money and run type gig? Number 4, know your event. What's the venue? What's the size? Who have they had in the past? What will work best for this particular event? And number 5, I think like one of the most important things is just be innovative and open to discovering new music. Because, you know, your 14-year-old nephew might tell you what he's listening to, and that could be like the next superstar that you book before anyone finds out about them and you get the credit. So really be open to discovering things. If you do all this right, you can create music and event magic, and that's what we strive for at BMF Media. So thank you.